of Oz says it found 158 million views of political misinformation on Facebook in the first 10 months of 2019. The left-leaning group claims 62% of the fake news was targeted against Democrats, and that while 9 out of 10 fake stories were negative, 100% of positive stories were about Republicans. One false story, though, for example, said President Trump's grandfather was a pimp and tax evader. Another false story said Nancy Pelosi was using Social Security money to cover impeachment inquiry costs.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Facebook's been using fact checkers and paged emotions for those who spread disinformation. This report argues those tactics are not working. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
With your KVFD News Update, I'm Rob Jones. The Fort Dodge City and School election was yesterday, with the question of whether the City of Fort Dodge could create a broadband municipal utility on the ballot. That question was answered with a resounding yes, carrying 71% of the vote, passing 1722 to 683. In the Fort Dodge City Council at-large race, Nevin Conrad defeated Melvin Newsom. Conrad carried 68% of the vote, winning 1667 to 748. In Ward 1, Terry Minke ran unopposed. He carried over 97% of the vote with 262. There were 7 write-ins. In Ward 2, that was the tightest council race of the day. Andy Fritz edged Justin Myers 210 to 201. In Ward 3, Dave Flattery carried 75% of the vote and defeated Richard Higgins 610 to 197. And in Ward 4, Kim Allstott ran unopposed and carried just over 96% of the vote, garnering 736 total. There were 28 write-ins. The Fort Dodge School Director at-large, Stephen Springer, garnered 2,053 votes, edging out Matthew J. Wagner at 2,011, Angela Tracy at 1,980, and William Kent at 1,888. In sports, Jeremiah Williams is a 7-year-old boy from Fort Dodge who could become a world champion martial artist. Jeremiah competes in Taekwondo and is ranked number 1 in the nation in his age group. Jeremiah's dad, Ron, says that Jeremiah took up the sport at a very early age.
He started when he was 3 because he wanted to experience something different, and he started it, liked it, and then he started winning. We discovered he's really, really good at it.
Jeremiah Williams will compete in the Las Vegas Open International Taekwondo Championships this Saturday in hopes of bringing the world title back to his hometown. In college basketball action from last night, the Iowa State Cyclones will win in their season opener 110-74 over Mississippi Valley State. 7 Cyclones in double figures. Sophomore guard Tyrese Halliburton with 12 points and 14 assists. The Northern Iowa Panthers will win 58-53 in their season opener over Old Dominion. The Panthers would have 3 players in double figures in the game and hold Old Dominion to just 3 made three-pointers. For KVFD from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered areas of rain and snow mixing at times here for this afternoon, with partial sunshine developing and a high getting into the upper 30s. Winds out of the north at 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 25. Then for tonight, a slight chance for some snow showers, cloudy skies, and a low around 15. By Thursday, sunny skies, a high around 30 degrees. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 33.
More choices, more money. Bayer Plus Rewards is a new kind of rewards program, one that lets you call the shots. Choose from our broad portfolio of high-performance products. Earn more money on the eligible products that are right for your farm. Use our new portal to see your purchases, track your rewards, and decide how you want to use them. That's how we're putting more control in your hands. That's the plus. Sign in and earn big with Bayer Plus Rewards. Visit mybayerplus.com to sign up today. See program terms and conditions for full details.
You work hard, and you deserve to get the most for your money. like health insurance coverage with the largest, most accessible networks, so you can choose where you want to go for care. Like having multiple plans so you can choose the coverage that works best for you. Mostly, you deserve to have the health insurance expertise Iowans have been trusting for over 80 years. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. To find the small business or individual plan that's right for you, talk to your local agent about Wellmark today. Get started at wellmark.com.
Having a high-yield harvest matters. Having a positive ROI matters even more. NK's broad genetic portfolio was developed using advanced technologies and traits, plus the latest data analytics, so we can recommend products that deliver the value you need to help maximize your operation's profit potential.
In this area, check out NK 1082. This hybrid offers excellent yield potential across the entire Corn Belt with Agrisure Artesian technology. Ask your NK retailer about NK 1082 and other top-performing products.
Michael Devine at AM 1400.
In the name of justice and the American way of life.
With 60 rounds of freedom.
All right, this is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. I'm Michael Devine, and we are going to tell the truth, make it matter, and we're never going to be boring. Live, local, and relevant talk radio from the corner of 10th Street and 2nd Avenue North right here in Fort Dodge. Our guest, of course, is one of the victorious city council people last night. Yes, Dr. Terry Menke was reelected with a resounding 97% of the vote. Do you have anything to say to the 3% who didn't vote for you?
No.
Allstott did a little worse, 96 point something, or 96 points.
He had 28 write-ins, and I think I had 7 write-ins.
But,
you can't make everybody happy. I thank those people that got out and voted. I think we've got a good crew looking out in the next couple of years. I mean, I think the council has done a great job. We're looking forward to future developments. We got a lot of things on the table and a lot of, promising opportunities that are presenting themselves. And I think we've got a pretty good path. I think, Matt's done a very good job at getting everybody in the same direction. And I think we all understand the direction we need to go with the infrastructure improvements, the road improvements, and hopefully bringing back retail into downtown and the Crossroads Mall area.
Crossroads Mall will be big for our town.
Yeah.
But we want to stick with last night's election, and progress in Fort Dodge will be more possible now since we have elected for city-owned broadband. Now, that does not mean we're going to get city-owned broadband.
That's correct.
But it means the voters have given the city officials a pathway to explore and perhaps construct a broadband network, municipally owned broadband in our town. And it'll certainly put a little pressure on Mediacom. They said at the forum that you and I went to, there was David Fierick and 2 people from Mediacom out at the Friendship Center, Celebration Center, that they wouldn't leave town. Of course, I'm not in the habit of believing Mediacom. If Mediacom's reaction to the problems we've been having and the complaints that we've been having is to hire a lobbying firm and fight us tooth and nail.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I know. Well, God, that's allegedly according to Chip Baltimore.
No.
Chip wouldn't even admit to being a lobbyist. He was a senior research fellow.
Yeah, since
which
January.
Is utter nonsense, But I suppose technically that's right, and Skip's an attorney, and he lives in that world where technically right can carry the day. But I'm not going to suspend my belief to call him simply a senior research fellow. He's a lobbyist. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's out there trying to push a mission, which is the definition of a lobbyist as far as I'm
Thank
concerned.
you. He's an advocate. And I even I even called him an advocate. Oh, I'm not an advocate. Apparently this lawyer from Boone shows up in our town. He's writing articles for the Messenger. I have no idea why the Messenger even did that. Did you see that piece?
Yeah, I read that.
Don't give him a blank check. This is the Messenger.
Pure propaganda.
Pure propaganda, and the Messenger put it right in there like that.
I know.
Oh, yes. Yes. Don't give the city a blank check because they're evil government-owned internet.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. I mean, it's an opportunity, I think, for the city and the citizens of the community. I think it's going to move our issue forward. I've been looking at this actually for a couple of years. The Chattanooga, municipal utility was one that I looked into a number of years ago, and the big thing is reliability, and you got to have reliable, you got to have customer service, and you got to have the speed, and that's those are things we're lacking in the community, and I think that was kind of driven home during several of our discussions and even during the forum multiple times. I think the providers that we have now have a lot of potential to do that, but for one reason or another, they just haven't done it. And, again, there's a possibility we could be partnering with these people in the future, and, if they come back with a plan.
These people, are you talking about Mediacom?
Mediacom primarily, yeah, because I don't know if Frontier, we haven't had any response at all from Frontier.
Well, I've heard some rumors about Frontier, and I'm not going to repeat rumors, but they've kind of withdrawn from the field.
Yeah, well, it's it's difficult to say what's going to happen in the future with the satellite internet. I mean, there's a lot of potential, a lot of change in the future, and what we're looking at today in 5 years may not be something we want to look at. I mean, you look at the advances in technology, and I think everybody recognizes that things are changing very rapidly. We're trying to get caught up to where all the smaller communities were 10 years ago. So, I mean, we're already 10 years behind, and it would be nice to get, the infrastructure in place so we can capitalize on it. Verizon, I'm sure, is looking at 5G service, but you still got to have fiber in the city in order to do that and do it effectively. And I think we've got...
Doesn't Mediacom have fiber in the city, but
yes.
not to houses?
Yeah, they have a lot of fiber in the city, and the lady was throwing out a lot of statistics and numbers.
She was trying to confuse the audience.
Yeah, she was dazzling us, but again, I'm at the end of some dead end. I mean, I can't get service with Frontier or Mediacom either, or WMTEL. We tried those, and we're out of the line of sight. And so there's a lot of areas because of the hills, the valleys, and just the basic way the city is constructed where it's difficult to get uniform service throughout the community, and fiber optic is a viable option for that. So that's why we pursued it. And again, now the work starts. You had Ryan Mail in here the other day, and Ryan will kind of spearhead that, and I think...
Nice young man.
Yep.
Very bright. Very bright.
I think there's a lot of things, a lot of meetings more than likely, which is just what we need is more meetings. But there'll be a lot of discussion, more public input. But now is the time where we're going to say, here we are. Who wants to come help us?
Yeah.
We opened the door. And again, Mediacom is probably still on the plate. I mean, they are probably best positioned to be the ones that we can partner with. But the question is, do they want to? We don't know.
Well, I've lost interest. It would be better if Mediacom had a better attitude, but their attitude, frankly, has sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just belligerence, and you mentioned Ryan Mail. He was an energetic younger man, ready to go to work and ready to get something done and forward-looking. And it seems like we just have this percentage of people in our town. And calling them cave people is too nice. I mean, they're bitter, angry people, and they're just going to throw mud at everybody.
Yeah, there's a few, and we follow Facebook. I mean, we don't comment very often because it's difficult to get into an argument with somebody that has more.
Oh, I don't mind.
I know you don't.
I engage the rednecks. Bring it on there, boys.
There's probably a half dozen that are very vocal, very negative, and never said anything positive.
Always.
Yeah, and it's tough to deal with those people, and.
I don't deal with them. I dismiss them.
Yeah.
And that's why they attack.
Yeah. I got called a socialist and a yes man. And
a socialist?
Yeah.
See, you take those things way too personally.
No,
I feed off them.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, you read a lot of positive statements, and all of a sudden there's somebody that says something, and, very seldom does anybody call them out on it, and it's unfortunate.
Well, direct me to them, Terry.
Yeah, I could.
The first question I'll ask them is, define socialist. Because I'll bet you $10 they don't know.
But it's a word. It's a word they can throw out.
It's a word. It means government controlling your lives, they think.
Like racist, it's
yeah,
easy
racist,
to throw it out.
commie.
Yeah, but again, I think the internet is critical. Telehealth, through the hospital and the providers, the VA clinic working with telemedicine now, and there's a lot of need and a lot of businesses. And again, I realize that social media watching, the Facebook and whatever, that doesn't really require probably high speed, but you get into your services, your internet TV, or downloading the games, playing games, movies. I mean, there's the younger people, the younger generation expects that, and that's pretty bad when you your kid comes up and he's watching his TV through his phone because my internet is so bad he can't watch what he wants to watch, so he's hooked into Verizon. But this is an opportunity, and again, it's going to be driven by demand. So in other words, it's not really a taxpayer expense. I'm not going to say that we're not going to have any tax money in it, because I'm sure we're going to have to fund like a study.
That's right. I don't think we're going to be on the hook for $40 million.
No, and I don't think the council would ever approve that.
No.
And I don't think Jeff Nemmers would allow us to do that.
Jeff wouldn't, no.
And we listen to Jeff and David, and we have to rely on our staff, and I think they've researched this, and I think the fact that it is revenue driven, and revenue, if you want it, you're going to get it. If you don't want it, you don't have to pay for it. And that's.
Do you suppose the Messenger looked at that piece that said don't write a blank check to the city? Did they look at that and credibly think there was an ounce of truth in it?
Probably not.
No.
I don't think
they
so.
just put it in there. They just pasted it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks for your opinion. Bang.
Yep.
Pasted in the paper and walked away.
Yeah,
well, the results of the Messenger's public service resulted in a lot of frightened and angry people who made everybody's lives a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
That is journalistic irresponsibility as far as I'm concerned.
It raised a lot of questions that didn't really need to be asked because it was all falsehoods that they were trying to
Yes,
prevail.
exactly. Thank you much. If I heard that once, I heard it 15, 20 times. Oh, you just want a blank check. And where did that phrase come from? The
Chip
Messenger's
Baltimore.
piece, Chip Baltimore's piece, and the Messenger.
Yeah, that's tough because we've, and I think David's been very consistent with his message. I mean, it's paid for by the people that utilize the service. And again, for the taxpayers to be on the hook, I don't think the council will allow that, and I don't think we're going to venture down that road simply because it's just not. It's not in the plans, and they're hoping, the options are at this point to do nothing or to bring out our own internet service, which is probably not going to happen, or to find somebody that will come in and do it for us, and that's obviously the ideal situation. So, and again, with all the economic development, moving forward in the community and the demands for the service, I think that somebody sitting in, in the position where they have that kind of infrastructure and they know how to build it and they know how to maintain it and they know how to service it, I think they'll do very well in our community.
I think so too. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you again. I'm an opinion journalist, okay? If there's something in the paper that's an opinion, the Messenger should be obligated to say, this is an opinion that the paper doesn't necessarily agree with. Because consumers of news believe what's in the paper and sometimes on the news and the radio is a fact.
Yeah.
Is a fact. So if you put that in the paper, even though you may put opinion in little letters somewhere around there, it's a lot of people are going to take it to the bank.
Yeah. And the Messenger did come out in support of utility, of the city-owned utility.
After they'd start a forest fire.
After
they were started feeling a little heat, I think.
After it hit the fan. I think.
Yeah, they hit the fan. By that time, nobody was paying any attention to them. Yeah. Oh, you support it? Oh, thanks a lot for that.
No, but it was fun to watch the whole system go. I mean, you don't know until the end which way it's going to go. We hope to get the message out. The forums, as you know, weren't well attended. A lot of
terrible.
A lot of public opinion.
Me and you and a few others.
Putting it on, But,
So the candidate forum, were there more candidates than in the audience or not?
The first one I went to, yes, it was not.
Andy Fritz's wife was sitting behind me, so we can't count her.
Well, you could.
I mean, you can, but
she's a voter. Nice lady. Yeah. But
yes.
But anyway, it's
you and Allstott hang out, don't you?
No.
That's an Allstott remark.
No.
Oh no, you got to go.
No, we don't hang out. I'll see him tonight, though. We have a council meeting tonight. You know that at 5:30.
And what will be discussed, Terry?
Well, it's going to be fun tonight. I think we're starting at 5:30 with a mall development workshop, half hour long. We're bringing in a couple of the developers will be there tonight, and Chad Schaefer or David Ferrick will go over what the plans are for that area out there. They were released in the newspaper. I know that you were commenting about that. I'm sorry that you were left out of the loop, but that's the way things are done. But
what does that mean? We just routinely leave.
Yeah, we just routinely leave you out of the loop. You find out about it later. That's the way we treat you.
Actually, a city official told me about it at the end of summer.
Yeah.
But he went on to say, don't say anything about it.
Perfect.
Until I till I talked.
So you probably knew about it before we did. Yeah.
Could have.
Yeah.
I knew the general outline. I knew the mall was going to be torn down in late summer.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the good part about it is that now they have negotiated to buy the Sears property too, which was kind of an obstacle with the mall redevelopment.
Right.
That property, and the Blessing Brothers came to an agreement with the same developers that are working with the mall. So the mall property will be bought in the spring for about $3.5 million, and then the Sears property is going to be bought. I think it was $1.4 million, maybe some change. They are planning, because of the TIF, the tax increment financing, to get the Sears property knocked down before the end of the year, because they would like to have a more or less a zero tax base on the property, just basically land only with no building, so that they can start afresh and generate more tax revenue off of that property. So they're anticipating that the mall itself will remain operational for a while. There's still some leases in effect out there. There's still some plans to be made, but at least the cross access and all those things we ran into with some of our prior developers with the Hutton Group and whatever will now be eliminated, because we have one person, basically one developer, that's in charge of the entire project. So we're looking forward to hearing what they're going to say. I know there's been some concern about the mall tenants, but again, this isn't something where you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to see a whole new development. This is going to be a series of, I guess, planned events over a long period of time. Getting the mall, the Sears property down, I think will be a great improvement just on the appearance of the facility. It's going to give a little bit better idea as far as the space, because I don't think people realize how big that is out there. There's 31 acres, I believe. And so the dialysis center that's being remodeled now will remain. That has been sold, and that's a separate facility. But basically everything else on that, from 25th to 29th and from 1st North down to 5th South, will all be cleared out. And it's going to be wide open. There will be a public access, a drive more or less, a street through the development, and then a variety of buildings. And again, what you saw in the paper was just kind of an idea. I don't think that that's stamped in concrete anywhere. They have a lot of plans for different facilities, and as we talked before, the mixed use with maybe some residential and as well as retail in the same area would be very nice. Possibility of a medical clinic, possibility of a hotel complex. And again, those things are just things that they throw out because that's things that could happen, but not necessarily going to happen. So it'll be great, I think, once it's done. It's probably one of the it's probably the biggest economic development that we've seen short of the Ag Park or the Crossroads of Global Innovation. And again, this is
Don't say Ag Park around here. Kelly be over here beating the hell out of you.
Yeah, I know it. But it's, I think it's going to be an exciting time over the next few years to see this transition. There were some people concerned about it, but as we spoke earlier, there's people concerned about everything anymore. But this is going to be driven.
Not here in town. They're just hateful, that's all.
But again, it's going to be driven by the developer. The city will be there to assist in some acquisition costs, demolition costs, and infrastructure improvements. The city won't have a lot of input as far as what comes, what goes, but obviously the site plan and whatever will have to be approved by the city, so we're going to have some control over the layout and access and make sure everything's smoothly put together. But we're just looking forward to it, and I think we brought the retail coach in. It's been 2 years now, and they've been working on that, and they've made a lot of contacts at some of these meetings, and so people have been kind of sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen with the development. And now that we've got more or less green space for them, once we get the buildings down, it's going to be interesting to see who shows up. So I don't know what, everybody has different dreams, I guess. I mean, everybody would like to see more restaurants. Everybody would like to see more retail,
Everybody'd like to have a little bit more money because they live in crap housing.
Yep.
And the people who are living in the crap housing are often opposed to any economic development that we have at all because they are poor, and people scare them. So they'll stay poor.
Yeah, but we've got, there's some other plans going on, kind of collateral to all this. I mean, we're continuing to clean up in this neighborhood where, in the 8th Street area, the city's bought a lot of that property. We're actually putting an advance on the 2021 bond tonight so that we can clear up more property in the 8th Street area. We've actually been working, Vicki Reek and Paige Wheeler from the city met with a group called Rural Housing 360, and we're hoping to get some moderate income housing brought into the community. By moderate income, the affordable housing anymore they consider to be about $225,000, which is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. So the affordable housing, as far as I'm concerned, would be in the 125 range. And this Rural Housing 360 is claiming that if the city is enabling them to come in on city-owned property and put housing in, that they can put housing in that market. And so that'll enable some of these poor houses that are in town to be demolished and bring in some quality housing that people can still afford. But, we've got 10,000 housing units in Fort Dodge, and we've got, 4,000.
How many of them are habitable?
Well, good question. I mean, we've got 4,000, 4,000 of those properties are rental properties. And so there's
4,000?
Yeah. So about 40% of our housing stock is rental. And, it's difficult to enforce a lot of standards and care. I mean, there are rental department, inspection departments out there doing a pretty good job with our rentals, but a lot of them are being sold on contract, and then they become, out of reach of the rental department. And it's a little difficult to go in and, bust knuckles when you don't have the legal capabilities of doing it. So, again, if you see something bad, either talk to them or see Click Fix It. We'll go out and see if there's something we can do about it. But
did you catch the election results in Yetter?
No, I missed Yetter.
The mayor, Norman Roller, got 6 votes and won. There were 3 council at large, and they all got 6.
Wow.
So 6 people showed up at the polls and voted for 3 council people and the mayor.
And I would imagine 4 of those votes are probably the 3 council
I
people.
was thinking, yeah, they all voted for each other, and now they're in office.
And somebody's wife.
And somebody's wife or mother or whatever the story is. I haven't met a Norman in a long time, so I assume Norman's an older man. It's an older man's name.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a younger guy, it's got to be Justin or some damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I see Gowrie's got a new mayor, too. That's kind of exciting. Gowrie's a young, upcoming community and a lot of progress down there.
Gowrie's a young, upcoming.
Yep. I think they're probably one of the more progressive, smaller communities in this area, and they've done very good economic development. They've got some housing initiatives going. They're very strong community, and they got a new mayor now, so that's going to be interesting to see.
By the way, the County Board of Supervisors will not be on the air today as they usually are, so if you wanted to, you folks in Gowrie wanted to yell at them over the Dollar General store thing, or the dollar store, or whatever it is, they're not going to be here today. But spot zoning.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
Yeah, well, if
this
isn't spot zoning, what is spot zoning?
They're going to hear about it, I'm sure.
Yes, they will. All right, Terry Mankey's our guest.
Michael Devine, the mayor of Manville.
It's a fancy title for a part-time job.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
All right, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for Dodge. 2:32, the news is next.
Hey, remember that time? That's how most good hunting stories start in Wisconsin. Hunting in Wisconsin is about the adventure of hunting for food and the big buck. It's about making memories in wide open spaces, deer camp, and sitting around the fire with new and old friends. When you go hunting in Wisconsin, you'll want to come back year after year. Come for the adventure. Hunt for the memories. Start planning your trip today at gowild.wi.gov. Wisconsin DNR. Adventures and memories.
Iowa hog farmers have a lot to be proud of.
Proud of the quality products we put on tables around the world.
Proud of the strides we make to protect Iowa's natural resources.
Proud of the number of Iowans we're able to employ in safe workplaces.
Proud to protect and promote animal well-being in everything we do.
Iowa pork producers are proud because they do it right. And that's something all Iowans can take pride in.
Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
Iowa's pork producers work hard daily to produce safe, affordable food. Through the industry's We Care initiative, hog farmers are firmly committed to doing things right. That means keeping their pigs safe and healthy, safeguarding natural resources, protecting public health, and building strong communities. Producers fully understand the importance of pork quality, responsible production, and continuous improvement. It's the moral and ethical thing to do. Sponsored by Iowa's pork producers and their pork checkoff.
More choices, more money. Bayer Plus Rewards is a new kind of rewards program, one that lets you call the shots. Choose from our broad portfolio of high-performance products. Earn more money on the eligible products that are right for your farm. Use our new portal to see your purchases, track your rewards, and decide how you want to use them. That's how we're putting more control in your hands. That's the plus. Sign in and earn big with Bayer Plus Rewards. Visit mybayerplus.com to sign up today. See program terms and conditions for full details.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
With your KVFD News Update, I'm Rob Jones. The Fort Dodge City and School election was yesterday, with the question of whether the City of Fort Dodge could create a broadband municipal utility on the ballot. That question was answered with a resounding yes, carrying 71% of the vote, passing 1722 to 683. In the Fort Dodge City Council at-large race, Nevin Conrad defeated Melvin Newsom. Conrad carried 68% of the vote, winning 1667 to 748. In Ward 1, Terry Minke ran unopposed. He carried over 97% of the vote with 262. There were 7 write-ins. In Ward 2, that was the tightest council race of the day. Andy Fritz edged Justin Myers 210 to 201. In Ward 3, Dave Flattery carried 75% of the vote and defeated Richard Higgins 610 to 197. And in Ward 4, Kim Allstott ran unopposed and carried just over 96% of the vote, garnering 736 total. There were 28 write-ins. The Fort Dodge School Director at-large, Stephen Springer, garnered 2,053 votes, edging out Matthew J. Wagner at 2,011, Angela Tracy at 1,980, and William Kent at 1,888. In sports, Jeremiah Williams is a 7-year-old boy from Fort Dodge who could become a world champion martial artist. Jeremiah competes in Taekwondo and is ranked number 1 in the nation in his age group. Jeremiah's dad, Ron, says that Jeremiah took up the sport at a very early age.
He started when he was 3 because he wanted to experience something different, and he started it, liked it, and then he started winning. We discovered he's really, really good at it.
Jeremiah Williams will compete in the Las Vegas Open International Taekwondo Championships this Saturday in hopes of bringing the world title back to his hometown. In college basketball action from last night, the Iowa State Cyclones will win in their season opener 110-74 over Mississippi Valley State. 7 Cyclones in double figures. Sophomore guard Tyrese Halliburton with 12 points and 14 assists. The Northern Iowa Panthers a winner 58-53 in their season opener over Old Dominion. The Panthers would have 3 players in double figures in the game and hold Old Dominion to just 3 made three-pointers. For KVFD from the Jerry Sheeter Newsroom, I'm Rob Jones.
This is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. It's 2:37. First of all, in the weather, light snow, 30 degrees. How does that sound? Snow really until about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Our high might get to be 39, but I wouldn't look for it to be that high. Overnight chance of snow, cloudy, then gradually clearing with a low temperature of 14. And yes, the first wind chill factor temperature of the season. Wind chill factor temperature will be around 5. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 30. Wind chill factor again as low as 5. Get out the big coat. Sunday, it'll be sunny with a high of 40. Saturday, hey, this is a day we want. Sunny with a high of 50 on Saturday. Sunday, mostly cloudy, high 35. Veterans Day is Monday. We'll have a sunny sky with a high of 20. And on Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 22. Right now, a little snow in the area, 30 degrees. Obituaries this hour brought to you by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1615 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. Eileen Miller of Fort Dodge has died. Eileen H. Miller, 90 years old of Fort Dodge, passed away Thursday, the 31st, at Iowa Lutheran Hospital in Des Moines. There will be a time of gathering and celebration of the life of Eileen H. Miller, and that'll be from 1 to 3 Saturday at St. Paul Lutheran Church. Obituaries this hour brought to you by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1615 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. 2:39 at AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge, 30 degrees. With a look at the closing market report, here's Dwayne Murley.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. December corn down 3 cents at 3.78 3/4. March down 4 at 3.87 3/4. May down 3 3/4 at 3.94 3/4. July down 4 at $4 3/4. November soybeans down 6 3/4 at 9.15. January down 6 3/4 at 9.27 March down 6 1/2 at 9.40 3/4. May beans down 6 1/4 at 9.52 3/4. December wheat closed up 1 1/2 at 5.16 3/4. Soybean meal down 3.80 a ton at 2.98.90. December live cattle down 45 at 1.19. February up 2 cents at 1.24.70. November feeders down 105 at 1.46.80. January down 1.35 at 1.44.42. December lean hogs down 2.50 at 64.77. February down 97 at 72.77. I'm Dwayne Murley.
Acre to acre, year to year, generation to generation. Nobody scrutinizes performance like you do. And acre to acre, year to year, generation to generation. The consistent performance of Asgrow brand soybeans helps to keep your profitability out in front. Offering a suite of tailored integrated solutions and 100% exclusive genetics for strong yield potential. Plus the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, the #1 soybean system planted by farmers, featuring XtendiMax herbicide with vapor grip technology to control more weeds than any other soybean system, so you can spray your fields with confidence. Ask your dealer how much further you can grow when Asgrow leads the way. XtendiMax herbicide with vapor grip technology is a restricted use pesticide. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing, and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions. Check with your state pesticide regulatory agency for specific restrictions in your state.
If you're tired of suffering from pain in your knees, shoulders, or hips, come into Active Health Clinics and get some relief. Hi, I'm Erica Hout, nurse practitioner at Active Health Clinics. We can help you get the relief that you've been waiting for with the new, non-invasive, non-surgical arthritis pain treatment. Whether you are suffering from knee pain, shoulder pain, hip pain, or any degenerative arthritis, we offer a safe, gentle, and effective therapy. You don't have to live in pain anymore. Active Health Clinics, 20 North 29th Street, Fort Dodge.
Doors are being slammed in your face, and bad credit is holding you back. Raise Credit has dedicated over 40 years to helping everyone get a 750 credit score. $99 can get you started, and when you complete the program, you'll get a $1,000 Visa credit card, guaranteed, or your money back. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and even late pays can be removed from your personal credit report. If you need a credit score to 750, $99 can get you started. Raise Credit has built millions in credit for personal and business. If you need $5,000 to $50,000 and more, Raise Credit will give you what you want. Call 800-543-5772. If you need a credit score of 750, $5,000 to $50,000 of credit, call 800-543-5772. That's 800-543-5772. If you need your credit score to go up, Raise Credit is the only one that can help. Raise Credit will personally rebuild your credit to a 750 and build you all the credit you need, guaranteed or your money back, and a $1,000 Visa when you complete the program. Call Raise Credit. Call 800-543-5772. That's 800-543-5772. Call now.
If you don't listen to him, you suck.
He's sneaky, but he's right.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
That's right. You suck if you don't listen to this terrific talk radio show. The only talk radio show in a town this size in the state of Iowa, maybe the Midwest. I don't know. So,
quite impressive.
Quite impressive. Not as impressive as you being an optometrist in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
That's true. That's true.
But I soldier on nonetheless. If you'd like to join the program, featuring newly reelected City Councilman Terry Menke, who overcame tough opposition last night to be reelected, it's 515-955-1400. By the way, Congressman Steve King will be here in the next hour. if you'd like to hear that conversation. And Congressman King is always well versed and he's entertaining.
Very intellectual man.
Yes, he is. He knows what he's talking about.
He's and I know he has his tendency sometimes to tweet things that may not necessarily be, politically.
I'll tell you something. I recognize myself in Steve King. He'll do these things, not that he doesn't believe them, but to kind of give the middle finger to all the precious ones out there who are always throwing their wrist to their forehead and fainting over any perceived injustice in the world or the universe,
But he has been very good for this area. He's
That's
been
right.
a very good supporter of Fort Dodge and our efforts at economic development. He's always been there to assist us in any way he can, and he's been, I think, a great asset for our community. So
yeah.
I don't.
Well, he's got a primary. J.D. Schultz was on this program yesterday, and looking at Mr. Schultz's resume again, I don't see it. I don't
play baseball.
Yeah. For 8 years in minor league teams, you think he'd get the picture. I mean, this was Class A ball too. I don't think he ever got to even double A.
He's a nice young man. I talked to him.
Well, so am I,
passing.
but I'm not going to be the congressman.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a couple of things on the agenda tonight that I
Whip
think
it on
are
us,
kind of
Terry.
exciting. One is, last week we, you attempted to drag me across the coals on the parking meter situation.
I just wondered why you and every other city councilman, including the other candidates who lost, were opposed to parking meters, and we still have them.
Yeah, well, I'm here to tell you that on November 25th, all the parking meters in downtown will be bagged, and so you're going to have free parking in downtown. And from November 25th until the 1st of January, Main Street is...
you're going to give us that?
Yes, we're going to give that to you for the shopping season. So it's going to be kind of a test run as far as what's going to happen. We're anticipating that the expenses will remain, obviously. There'll still be some expenses, but the Main Street program is looking at about a $2,000 reimbursement to the city for lost parking revenue to help cover some of those expenses. And then they're going to monitor the sales in the community and see what happens with the downtown economic growth. So
seriously, Terry, that's weak.
Well, it's a start.
No. Here, you're opposed to parking meters. Period. Correct?
Well, we're bagging them.
So we're bagging them until the 1st of the year.
Yes.
What is the reason for your opposition?
Well, opposition to what?
For God's sake.
Yeah.
Parking meters.
Oh, I don't have. I told
now
you
you're
last
changing
time.
your tune?
No, I told you last week I have no strong feelings one way or the other. I know that we have certain expenses that we're going to have to cover. A parking lot.
So you're in
improvements.
favor of parking meters if they can generate the necessary revenue.
Right. Yeah, but again,
so that is a different tune.
We're probably going to parking lots will now become covered by bonds, so geo bonds will have to be used to do any additional parking improvements in the downtown
This
area.
is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. You're on the air with a waffler.
He doesn't want to give them up, but if he says that publicly, then he's a bad guy. And the reason why he doesn't want to give them up is because it's another tax.
It's
and have you
another
ever met a
tax.
politician that gave up a tax willingly? No.
Yeah, they're reacting. I think I'm talking about Terry like he's not even here. But I suspect some are reacting to the public opinion that doesn't want them at all and trying to buy us off with a little time here. Oh, look at us. We're magnanimous. We're going to bag the parking meters until the 1st of the year. Yes, we're wonderful. But
is there a pinky ring? Is there a pinky ring that we're supposed to be kissing for this wonderful pleasure that our government is giving to us out of the graciousness of their heart? Oh, wait a minute. They work for us. Okay, we've already said we don't want them. The businesses don't want them. Oh, but wait, government's going to come in now and tell us whether or not our business is or isn't successful enough to warrant parking meters. Are you freaking kidding me?
I'm not.
No, you're not. The politician next to you is, because his lips are moving.
His lips are moving. Okay.
Hold his feet to the fire, Mike. Don't let him out of this.
No,
you got him on the rope.
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. That's not what most of the the council people and council candidates said repeatedly at forums. That
if you corner any one of these people, it's, I'm against the parking meters. But remember, it was for public safety. Oh, we got to keep the traffic moving. Now it's for improvements.
I haven't had
and
I haven't had a chance to nuke public safety in a long time.
I will tell you that.
I haven't had a chance to nuke it. But
it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Mike.
I thank you for your call. Boy, you really are glad I brought that up, aren't you?
No, I
I don't know. My butt's chewed off, but I'm okay.
I take time out of my busy schedule to come here and take the
abuse.
abuse.
No, here it is.
Yeah. So anyway, and we are working with the downtown people. We are doing a $1 million facelift facade program in the downtown area. The downtown area is going to improve, a block-long area. We'll have a new look to it coming this spring.
Excuse me, let's go to the phone. So
I don't know if I want to.
Yet another butt chewing. AM 1400 KVFD, good afternoon. You're on the air with Councilman Menke.
Okay, well, holy crap, that guy needs to take a breath. And number two, do they really think these people run for office for fun? They're trying to help. And the reason they don't like to give up the taxes is because we ask them to do 5,000 different things.
Is this Mrs. Menke?
No,
it's not.
I don't even know the man. But come on, let's get a little more realistic about what we do.
Do you think the parking meters are making our lives better?
I don't know that they do anything, to be real honest. Is it that big of a deal?
Well, it's an extra tax, as far
but
as
if
I'm
you
concerned.
take that money away, how do you make it up?
If we take the money away, a parking lot here in town will probably not be as in good as a repair as it would if we had parking meters.
And then what happens when that parking lot goes to crap? What do people do?
Well, I believe, what do people do when the parking lot goes to crap?
Yeah.
I sell it, I suppose.
They freak out and complain and call and come on, stop it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm stopping it. Menke was kind of sweating bullets there for a while.
I kind of enjoyed that call.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No,
a fan call.
Yeah,
You're first.
No, I don't. Again, it's you pay the price you pay in order to have what you got, and if you take away something, you have to find another way to replace it.
Yeah, we got a big empty furniture store downtown.
Yeah, but there's been 2 offers on that building in the last few months, and there's people looking at it. There's all kinds of potential. If you get Chris Patrick in here, you talk to Chris Patrick, and there's a lot of people interested in downtown. I was approached at a meeting not too long ago. The gentleman that owns the Wells Fargo building is actively looking for tenants right now and working with Chris getting those. And so there's a lot of people that are looking in downtown right now. And again, we're trying to make it better. I don't think we're Disneyfying it or beautifying it the way somebody wanted to by, making it downtown Disney, which I was there a couple weeks ago, and that is a thriving community. But of course, you got Disney in the name. But, downtown is, and the parking meters, part of the reason that you claim I'm hard to pin down, but I've heard so many opinions from the same people over the last few months. Every meeting I go to,
it's pretty easy to decide. We've had parking meters for quite a while. No, it should be easy for you as well. You just like to equivocate. So it should be pretty easy. We have these parking meters that most agree is a tax. We have these parking meters who are paying for parking lot repair. We have these parking meters that are wildly unpopular, both usually among the population in general and most of the city council, but we still have them.
Yeah. Well, again, parking is not free, and I can repeat that time and time again. If you have a parking lot, you have costs associated with it. So how do you maintain that without somebody
We
paying
don't
for
have
it?
parking meters in the parking lot.
Yes, we do.
Do we really?
We do have parking meters in the parking lots. A lot of them are permit parking, but there is also hourly meters in the parking lots.
Why don't you just go around to people with a gun and a mask and get their money?
Well, that's your way of collecting things, but we try to be a little bit more democratic. But
more democratic. What, you use more people with guns and masks?
If you don't want to put money in the parking meter, you got 2 options. Don't go where the parking meters are. Walk a block or 2, and it won't hurt you at all.
Do you think parking meters drove McGregor Furniture out of town?
No, I do not.
Because that's
no.
Who did?
Well, I
Well,
think it was
McGregor
their business model. Their
business model was wrong. Don't they still have 4 stores that are thriving?
But you
in
look
our
at
state?
what they were dumping in the Fort Dodge store. I mean, you know,
We're
were
a
you in
poor
there?
town.
No, we're not that poor. We're
Well,
doing fine.
well, you can't compare people to you.
No, I'm just telling you. You look at the figures. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people.
You're
out
the
there
one
that are
who's
doing
been telling me that 51% of our children in public
62.
schools, 62, are eligible for
41
free and reduced meals.
41% of our children have only one parent in their household.
That's right. Now, that's a poor town.
It's a poor town.
Now
There's
you're
a
telling
reason
me
why
it's
we can
not.
go.
You're
we-
just all over the place.
No.
Did you smoke a J before you got in here?
You know, it's hard to have a consistent thought when you keep interrupting me. But anyway, we are working on this, and we're going to.
Okay,
Chris
let's
will be
have
here,
it.
Chris will be here tonight, and we'll
let's
talk about
have
it.
Let's have it.
And
Do you want to get rid of the parking meters based on the information that you have right now,
At the
and
min-
based on your prior statements?
The information that I have right now is that we do not have adequate information to determine if we're going to be able to
Yes,
continue to fund.
we do.
See, once again, you interrupted me without me finishing my thought.
If I don't, you'll go on and on and on and not say anything.
No. All I'm telling you is that we've got expenses. We have expenses
You
associated
could be
with
one of
parking.
the more glib politicians I've ever seen in Fort Dodge.
No, that's
you
not
you
true.
can go on and
I mean, I've got all the numbers laying in front of me. I know how much money we generated. I know how much money it costs. We've got employees. We just put in a $26,000 parking system. You know, we have lot improvements that are being planned and continue to be planned. Got a lot of changes in downtown that are going to have to be funded by geo bonds instead of parking lot revenue. Are we going to get rid of the permit process? Are we just getting rid of the meters? Are we going to enforce the 2-hour parking by having somebody out there walking the streets? Are we going to have a vehicle to do it? You know, there's all kinds of things that we have to address and look at. So it's, you know, it's not as easy as take them out. You know, we've created a monster called a cash revenue source. And so that cash revenue...
That was intentional.
Well, that was intentional, but again, that's, you know, I wasn't on the council at that time, but I don't want to use that excuse because now we're trying to
Well,
address
now
it.
you are on the council.
I know that, but what
and
I'm
you've
saying
researched
is...
the subject.
And all I'm telling you is that we've got expenses that we need a source of income to pay for. So our options are to cut the expenses, which involves laying people off or cutting the services back a little bit. And are we prepared to do that? Are we going to step up? Are we going to hire more police officers? What are we going to do? I mean, it's all kinds of different financial things that we have to look at.
Well, that's what the speed camera cars are for, right? The 2 extra cops?
Well, it's one extra cop. The speed
No,
car
that's
runner.
not what the mayor said.
Well, the mayor and I have got, you know, I've got the numbers on the speed car too. I know how much it generates, and I know how much money it makes, and I know that.
Okay, let's go with one cop. I don't care.
Okay,
the speed cameras, again, a tax that provides another police officer.
Would you rather get a ticket, or would you rather get a car that sends you a message saying that you owe $60 because you're driving 11 miles an hour
and
over the speed limit?
That's fascism.
11 miles an hour the speed limit before it will issue a ticket, and it's a $61 ticket that you don't have show up on your record versus a cop that writes you a ticket that shows up on your record and you have to pay more insurance.
What kind of choice is that? What kind of choice are you giving me here?
Well, I'm
would
telling
you
you,
rather have the police give me a ticket in person, or would I rather get one from some eye in the sky where we're whacking up the money with some East Coast company? Come on, what are you, in the mafia or something?
No, you know, you're as bad as those guys on Facebook.
Yeah.
Throwing names out and hiding behind your keyboard.
No, I'm right here.
In your mom's basement.
I'm on YouTube.
I'm
on YouTube right now.
With your
1400 KVFD. I'm
How many are watching you?
There is
one or
video and audio going out around the world, and
Thanks to the
you're
internet.
accusing me of being behind a Facebook page
in
or
your,
something.
In your mom's basement with a tin hat on.
No. My mom kicked me out of the basement.
But anyway,
when she
we
was
are
18.
working on the mall tonight. We're working on the parking meters. We're working on the, we're going to have the people there from the mall development, company and the realty company that's part of the development group. So we encourage people to come out if you have questions and concerns to come to the workshop at 5:30 and then stick around and talk to these people after the meeting if you want to.
You just can't help but try to outsmart me. And
I just try to out-negotiate you. I can hardly wait.
I think you do that with everybody.
You know what's
though.
going to happen is Flattery's going to come in there. You're going to be so nice and calm, and you'll be so relaxed.
You seen the shoulders on Dave Flattery?
You're just going to genuflect and talk about kissing rings. That's what happens when Dave shows up.
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, I'm going to ask Dave the same question I ask you, and he's going to tell me Right or wrong? He's going to give me an up or down on that question.
Which question?
We've been talking about it for 20 minutes, and I still don't know where you are.
I'm just telling you that there's a lot of things that we have to be considered, and I don't think all things have been considered yet at this point.
Is that an answer,
Yes.
Councilman Menke?
Yes, it is. I'm telling you that we don't
There's
have
a
all
lot
the
of things that we have to consider before we eventually make a decision we don't want to make.
No, I didn't say that. I mean, if the
Yes,
majority,
you did.
if the majority of the council is in favor of removing the parking meters, then I'm going to vote with them. I think that's a decision of.
That's a powerful, strong stand. I'll do like everybody else.
No. I have several opportunities to give my viewpoint.
So you feel very strongly both ways.
No, once again, you're putting
I'm
words in my mouth.
convinced that both ways are right.
No, I think that we need to analyze this issue at a greater depth than what it has been. I think there's too many knee-jerk reactions.
What are we looking for as we do this powerful analysis?
Well, what I'm looking for is how we're going to sustain our expenses. Are we going to be able to pay our expenses without having to go into the taxpayers and raising property tax?
How about if we cut expenses?
Well, that's one way of doing it. We can cut expenses. And how do you cut expenses? And we're going to have costs in removing the meters, too. So you're going to take money away from our...
I got it. I got a pipe wrench at home. I'll get rid of them.
Okay, perfect. You can start tonight.
You see that Cool Hand Luke movie? Thank you, Terry. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
This is Dave Graveline. Be sure to listen to Into Tomorrow right here on the voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400 KVFD, Fort Dodge.
Foreshadowing on Capitol Hill. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The latest transcript of impeachment testimony offering more of a glimpse into what's coming next week when open hearings begin. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
In a closed-door deposition last month, Bill Taylor agreed with a characterization of quid pro quo after telling congressional investigators his clear understanding was military aid for Ukraine was withheld until Ukraine's president committed to pursue investigations of former Vice President Joe Biden in the 2016 election. But Taylor also told Republicans Ukraine's government was not aware that military assistance was being withheld when President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky spoke in a July phone call. Taylor is serving as the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine. He is expected to testify in an open impeachment inquiry hearing next week. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. President Trump, meantime, holding a White House event to highlight the dozens of judges confirmed so far before he heads to a rally tonight in Louisiana, which has a governor's race next week. Kentucky's Republican Governor Matt Bevin has a team of lawyers considering options as he asks for a second look at yesterday's votes, refusing to concede a narrow loss.
The Democrat, Andy Beshear, is essentially saying that a win by a thin margin is still a win. He's paying no attention to the challenges. He is moving forward, assembling a cabinet and establishing a budget.
The election ended. It ended, and it's time to move forward with a smooth transition that we are here to do so that we can do the people's business.
Now, with the split at less than 0.5%, Governor Bevin has now officially submitted paperwork to the Secretary of State's office requesting a recanvassing of voting machines and absentee ballots.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Louisville. On Wall Street, the Dow down a point at the bell. America's listening. Fox News.
Mike Capel here, serial entrepreneur. Patriot Software provides American businesses with easy, cloud-based, premium accounting software and full-service payroll for up to 100 employees. Business owners love the simplicity, the price, and our U.S.-based support. And accountants love the powerful capabilities. Check out our nearly perfect 5 out of 5-star ratings.
Keep your time and money.
'Twas the holiday season, and in your garage, a brand new John Deere. That's not a mirage. With neighbors admiring your shiny new ride, it's your year for a Deere to fill you with pride. So if additional offers are what you desire, see our low rates before they expire. Now start up your engines and drive out of sight. New John Deere equipment for all, and to all a good night. Make it your year for a Deere. See your John Deere dealer today to discover more amazing deals and attractive financing offers.
A registered sex offender is accused of groping a worker at Disney World.
Police say Brian Sherman, for several seconds, groped the breast of a woman dressed as a Disney princess while posing for a picture. Witnesses say the cast member was sitting between the suspect and his wife and couldn't move, that the area was then closed to visitors before she broke down crying. Deputies arrested Sherman after using pictures from the Disney photographer to identify him. He's charged with battery. He lives in Orlando and was convicted in 1991 of sexually abusing a child. Chris Foster, Fox News.
A 61-year-old man is now charged with a hate crime in Milwaukee, accused of throwing battery acid on an Hispanic